If you need a step but you want a subtle and sleek looking option for your 2022 or newer CrewMax Toyota Tundra, these RB20 slim running boards in texture black will be a set that you'll want to check out. Now, getting in and out of the Tundra can be challenging, especially if you are shorter or your passengers are, and even more so if you've got a lift or a leveling kit installed. Now, these running boards will offer just the right amount of room to plant your foot and help you up into the cab area when it comes to day-to-day life, but will also be great for the Tundra owner who wants a low-profile step when it comes to the appearance and the function. Now, even though it is on the slimmer side, the step will also have a tough enough construction to hold up to whatever lifestyle you have and protect your rocker if you want a step that's not just going to help you with access, but is also going to provide you with some protection. As it says in the name, these will have a super slim design that tucks very closely into the rocker area, which will offer a well-fitted appearance and tapers off at the rear for a more unique look while maintaining good stepping room. These will have a 5.5-inch roughly width at the widest point of the step in the front and taper down to about 4.5 inches at the slimmest point. And on top, this will have a pattern of punched holes for good drainage and more of that stylish appearance. These steps will also have a small welded lip on the front to just kind of finish the look and clean up the appearance up against the rocker, and will help with keeping your foot where it needs to be instead of sliding forward on the rocker. Now, if you do take your Tundra off-road, that slim design will also offer an advantage when it comes to ground clearance, but you won't have to worry if you do come down on an obstacle because these will have a tough build. These will be made of a 16-gauge zinc-coated steel construction for optimal durability compared to lighter-duty options, making this a great way to keep your rocker protected from any kick-up or moderate trail obstacles. Now, this will also have a black powder coat finish on top, which will do a great job at resisting any rust over the years, keeping them looking new and holding up to any surface damage. These will also have a direct bolt-on install and come with everything that you need in order to get these installed, and we'll show you that in just a minute. This set will come in at about $550, which I think is right on par for what you're getting. Now, this set will balance a lot of key elements that you would want out of a side step, again, having those protective traits, the additional clearance if you are taking your truck off-road, and the added bonus of that compact appearance. Now, compared to other choices that may only highlight one or two of those aspects or just focus on accessibility or just durability, this is going to balance it perfectly. So I think if you're looking to invest in a quality set of steps, then these are going to be right up your alley. Installing these will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about an hour or so to get the job done. Now, at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how to get these onto your Tundra at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet and a 12 and a 13 millimeter socket. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of running boards on our Tundra, so let's get started. All right, before we get underneath the truck, there's a couple things I just want to point out. One, each side has 4 brackets to install. And as you can tell, 3 of them are identical, and it's only one that is slightly different. And this is going to be your front bracket. And they are side-specific brackets, by the way. So when you pick out your brackets to install, you want to make sure that the short L portion of the bracket here is facing towards the rear of the truck. So this will be the front bracket for the driver's side, and the other 3 will be for the rest of the driver's side. Now, these all install the same way. There's 2 bolts at the front, at the top of the L bracket here, and there's 2 holes on each of the smaller brackets. So we're gonna put 2 bolts in here, bolted up to the bottom of the truck, and then we have 4 of these U brackets that go inside the running board. Now, the running board also is side specific. So when you're looking at these to install, you'll notice that one side is wider than the other. So when you do this, you want to make sure that the wide end of the running board goes towards the front of the vehicle, and the logo will be by the back door. That being said, you're going to take these 4 brackets, these 4 U brackets, and insert them into the bottom of the running board. So you're gonna have two basically underneath the rear door and two underneath the front door. So we can go ahead and just put these into place now. And the placement of those brackets at this point is not critical because we're going to adjust them once we get the running board onto the mounting brackets. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, now underneath on the inner rocker panel here, we've got 4 sets of 2 bolts that we're going to be using to mount these running boards to. The front set are a wider distance apart from each other. The other 3 will be closer together, and you'll see this once you get underneath. So we're going to use a 12mm socket to remove all 8 of these bolts, and then we can go ahead and install our new brackets. Now here's the second set of 2 bolts that we're going to be removing, and these will match the other 2 behind it towards the rear of the truck. So we'll go ahead and use our 12mm socket to remove these as well. And now you can repeat that process for the other 2 sets in the rear. All right, now we can go ahead and install our front bracket using the supplied bolts that come in the kit. We're just going to get those started. And for now, we're just going to leave these loose. Now we can move on to our second bracket here. All right, now we can start installing the rest of the brackets along the side. Again, using the supplied bolts that come with the kit. And now you can do the same thing for the other 2 brackets on this side. Now, as you can see, we've got all 4 of our mounting brackets installed and they're ready to go. So now we can go ahead and grab our running board and set it on the mounting brackets. All right, so we'll take our running board, and remember, the wider end of the running board goes towards the front of the vehicle, and the narrow end with the logo on it goes towards the rear. Now we can go ahead and install our bolts and get this mounted up to our brackets. Now, using the supplied bolts in the kit, we can go ahead and insert them through the mounting bracket below and into the U bracket that we installed into our running boards earlier. Now again, when you put these in, we're just going to put them in hand tight for now, just to allow us for final adjustment later on. And what I also like to do is take that U bracket and make sure that it's pushed all the way to the inside of the running board. Now, with the first 2 bolts installed, you can just repeat that process for the other 3. Now, with all of our bolts installed, we can go ahead and do our final adjustment here, making sure that it's spaced correctly between the 2 doors, and then make sure that it's in against the body of the truck as close as possible. Once you're happy with the way that it looks that way, now we can go ahead and start tightening up the bolts. All right, so we're going to start tightening up our bolts from the bottom, holding the mounting bracket to the running board itself. And we're just going to tighten these 2 up using our 13mm socket. And now you can repeat that process for the other 3 brackets. All right, now that we've got our running board securely fastened to our mounting brackets, we can tighten up our mounting brackets as well. Again, we're using our 13mm socket. And you can repeat that process for the other 3. Now that we've got one side installed, you can go ahead and repeat that whole process for the other side. And that wraps up our review and install of the Go Rhino RB20 slim running boards with the textured black finish for your 22 and newer Tundra Crew Max. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Tundra, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.